Jackie Gleason never read fiction. He only read fact, and he read biographies, and he was absorbed with interesting, calculative questions about things, life and death. Where do we go after it? What is this? I'm a Roman Catholic, he used to call himself. He was interested in psychics. He didn't believe in it, but he was fascinated by it. So we're at his house one night, a few people, and the subject of conversation at dinner was, before he got drunk late every night, so he didn't want to be there late. But early was fun. He was very bright. What in your profession is impossible? And we had a doctor there. He said, what's impossible? Impossible in medicine. And the doctor said, this was 1963, about 63, 64. They will never make blood in a lab. And they'll do lots of crazy things in life they'll cure diseases, but they will never go into a laboratory and make blood that you can give to someone. You can give transfusions, you can make plasma from blood, but you'll never make blood. That's God. That's impossible. He goes right up to me. What's impossible? I said, well, in addition to my television work, I do a local radio show every night from 9 to 12 on WIOD radio. It's a studio show, guests and phone calls. Frank Sinatra's opening at the Fontainebleau next week. I'd say Frank Sinatra, who was the #1 star in the world at this time. Frank Sinatra was Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley rolled into one in 1960. You couldn't get bigger. He avoided the press. Frank Sinatra to do my radio show for 3 hours during the time he's in Miami. And Jackie, I could still see him. You got him. I said, what? You got him. What night is he dark? I said, they don't work Monday nights. Next Monday, you got him. I said, okay, Jackie, I'm going to plug it. Pal, I said you got him, you got him. So I go back, and that night on the air, I said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget next Monday night, Frank Sinatra. Wow. The papers are writing up Frank Sinatra to appear on Larry King. Frank now opens at the Fontainebleau. The station calls me in on Friday and said, listen, we're preparing a big ad for the Miami Herald for Monday morning. You sure you got him? I told me you got him. He said, well, we've called the Fontainebleau a lot, left messages, and he hasn't returned any calls to messages. So we don't know that he's coming, and the ad's going to cost a little piece of money. I don't know what to tell you. So he said, we'll run the ad. Maybe I ought to call Jackie. I called Jackie Friday. He's out on the golf course. Gets in later. Yeah, what, pal? I said, well, I just want to check. Is Frank... Did I tell you he's coming? He got mad. I said, okay, Frank. Okay, Jackie, I'm sorry. Sorry. Now it's Monday night. It's 5 to 9. The whole radio station stayed. The people who worked during the day did not go home. Secretaries, anybody, salesmen. Because to be in Frank Sinatra's presence was unbelievable. You couldn't be bigger. I'm standing, it's 5 to 9. I go on at 5 after 9, right after the news, till 12. Suddenly this limo comes, pulls in. Frank gets out, and his PR guy gets out with him. Jim was his last name. I'll think of his last name. Jim comes up the stairs and says, who's Larry King? He said, I don't know how you got him. He said, I get paid not to get him here. Okay, I don't know how you got him. And Frank says, who's Larry King? We're all standing there. I go, sheepishly. Okay, let's go. Frank, let's go. We go into the studio. Again, let's go back to my first day on the air. Honesty, directness. Good evening. My guest tonight is Frank Sinatra. Why are you here? Now, a lot of guys would have said, my guest tonight is the famous Frank Sinatra, or he's here at the Fontainebleau, or my old friend Frank Sinatra. None of that. Why are you here? Because the audience has got to wonder how I got him. I don't know how I got him, except what Gleason told me. And Frank says, well, 5, 6 years ago, I'm working Ben Maxick's Town and Country Club in New York. Saturday night, closing night, I got laryngitis. And we've got a packed house. So I call up my friend Jackie. I said, Jackie, would you come over and do an hour for me? I can't sing. Gleason came over, did an hour. I walked him out to his limo when he's leaving. I leaned in. I said, Jackie, I owe you one. I check into town to sing here at the Fontainebleau. I get a message to call Gleason. I call up. He answers the phone. I said, Jackie, it's Frank. And all he said was, Frank, this is the one.
Great story.
And from that development, we did a couple of radios and 2 television. The last television appearance he did was on Larry King Live. And from that radio show, at the end of the show, he says, hey, kid, you're pretty good. Want to come see my show? I said, sure. He says, okay, I'll leave. Break 2 tickets. There'll be a reservation for 2 tomorrow night. First show, dinner show. So I knew that any girl I invite, I'm going to score. Because if I had taken a girl to see Frank Sinatra at his invitation, hey, but remember, I'm poor. I'm always poor, always out of money. All I had was like $20. I'm getting a free, if I got a tip, I got to give the car, right? I think, okay, the car's going to cost me $3. I got to have cigarettes. I'll tip 15, right? I go front row, front table. Oh my God. Frank Sinatra's on stage. In the middle of his show, he always came out, took a cup of tea, and conversed with the audience. And he says, last night I don't do this, folks, but Jackie Gleason asked me to do this radio show, and I owed him a favor. I did. And I want to tell you, I had a great time. This kid interviewed me. He's a great interviewer. I'd like to have you meet him. You're going to hear about him. Larry King, stand up. Well, it was dessert time. I'm eating Cherry's Jubilee. That's the ice cream with cherries and syrup. I stand up, bang, it hits me, it falls all over me. Cherry Jubilee's over my face, over the thing. The girl is sitting there looking. Frank starts to laugh. The entire audience cracks up. And then we're driving home. Now, I have no money. Sip. And the girl says, you want to come over and spend the night? Yeah. She says, I'm out of coffee. Can we stop at Royal Castle and get some coffee? I pull into the lot. What do? I got no money. I go into Royal Castle. I walk back out, and I said, they don't have change for 100. She bought the coffee. That was the Sinatra story.